Welcome to Zaption Tour 5.3 Slope-Intercept Form. There are 8 boxes. Here we go. The essential understanding of this lesson is you can use the slope and the y-intercept of a line to write and graph an equation of a line. I think this is something that you're going to be very familiar with and find very, very fun. Okay, here's the concept. Box number 1. It's called slope-intercept form. So the way that we write slope-intercept form is we use both the slope and the intercept, okay? So we have it in the form of y equals mx plus b. The m, of course, will stand for the slope. And the b, of course, will stand for the y-intercept. So let's take a look at this equation over here, or this line that I have graphed over here for you, okay? The y-intercept is a value of 1. So in this case, my b would be a value of 1. And the slope can be calculated simply by taking any 2 points that I can see and calculating the rise for the run. So the rise of this thing would be 2, and the run of this would be 3. So therefore, my slope would be a value of 2/3. So the equation of this line written in slope-intercept form would be the combination of the slope and the y-intercept together in the form. So the equation of this line would read y is equal to 2/3 x plus 1, since 2/3 represents the slope and 1 represents the y-intercept. Notice that we do not include the x-intercept at all for slope-intercept form. It's only the y-intercept. Okay, box number 2, let's do an example. What is the slope and the y-intercept? Yep, well, there's no tricks here. The slope is just the value that is right in front of the x when we are written an equation in the form of mx plus b. The slope, of course, is the m, the b is the y-intercept. So for this problem, the slope would be 3/4, so we use m would be 3/4, and the b would be -7. b would be -7. For the other problem over here, the slope would be -2/3. So this one, the slope would be -2/3, and the intercept would be a value of 5. Okay, box number 3, it's a you try. What is the slope? Hopefully you got that right, but if you did not, the answer is simply 5/8. The slope is a value of 5/8. It's sitting right in front of the x in the form of y equals mx plus b, and the slope is 5/8. Box number 4 is an example. It says write an equation in slope-intercept form. So they gave us a slope of -4/3 and they gave us a y-intercept of 7. So we would write down, okay, y is equal to mx plus b. I would substitute in my slope for the equation. So I would get -4/5 x, and I would substitute in my 7 plus 7, and this would be the slope-intercept form of -4/5 x plus 7. Box number 5 is an example. It says, write an equation in slope-intercept form that passes through the point 2, 1 and 5, -8. So the way that we're going to approach this is we know that we need 2 things. We know that we need mx plus b. So the first thing that I'm going to get is the slope. And the way that I'm going to get the slope is I'm going to use the slope formula. Remember, this is x1, this is y1, this is x2, and this is y2. So the slope formula says I take y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Substituting in those values, I could see that the value of y2 is -8, subtracted from the value of y1, which is 1, divided by the value of x2, which is 5, minus the value of x1, which is 2. Simplifying this, -8 minus 1 becomes -9, and 5 minus 2 is 3. This value simplifies to -3/1, or just a -3. So my first step number 1, is to find the slope. Once I have found the slope, then I need to find the y-intercept. So I would substitute back, and I know this. Y is equal to, the slope is -3x plus b. Now I need to figure out a value for b. You have a choice. You can either choose the first point or you can choose the second point. It does not matter. Both answers will give you a correct solution. I'm going to go ahead and choose the first point, 2 and 1, and I'm going to substitute in my values of x and y into my equation. So it would look like this. 1 is equal to negative 3 times the value of x, which is 2, plus b. This is going to allow me to solve for b. So now 1 is equal to negative 6 plus b. I'm going to add 6 to both sides, and I'm going to see that 7 is equal to b. Therefore, when I'm all said and done, let me shrink this down a little bit, the equation that I'm looking for is going to be y equals the slope, which we calculated at negative 3x, and the b value of plus 7. So here is the answer for example 5. Okay, box number 6 is a U-try. Write an equation in slope-intercept form that passes through 3, negative 2, and 1, negative 3. Look back to box number 5 for guidance. Hopefully you got the right answer, but if not, here's the solution, okay? The first thing you have to do is calculate the slope. We use the slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We plug in our correct values, and we simplify, and we get a positive slope of 1/2. Once we have the slope, we substitute it into the standard form, which of course is y equals mx plus b. We then pick any point that we want. I chose the first one. I substituted negative 2 for y and 3 for x. I multiplied the 3 times the 1/2 and got 3/2. I then subtracted 3/2 from both sides. 2 take away 3/2, negative 2 take away 3/2 is negative 7/2. So now I have a value of b. Then putting it all together, I get y equals 1/2 x minus 7/2. Box number 7 is an example of how to graph. We're going to graph the equation y equals 2x minus 1. Okay, since this equation is in slope-intercept form, the first thing that we're going to do is graph the y-intercept of negative 1. So on the y-axis, we go down to negative 1. That's our first step. So step number 1 is to graph the y-intercept. Okay? And then from step number 2 is going to be from the y-intercept, we apply the slope. So we say from the y-intercept, and it's very important that we start from the y-intercept, we apply the slope. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Since the slope is 2, we're going to go up 2 units, 1, 2, and over 1, and put our second point. And all we need is 2 points to connect a line. So, oops, sorry about that. So once we have the 2 points, we would simply draw our line in with a straight edge. Obviously, that's not very straight, but that's how we would do it. Okay, box number 8 is a U-try. It says, tell me the equation of the following graph using slope-intercept form. So I graphed the red line, and I gave you a few points, a few key points that might help you determine what the answer should be. Hopefully you got the right answer, but here's how you do it if we don't. So we're going to start with, we want y equals mx plus b. This, after all, it does say to use slope-intercept form. Well, the b is very simple to get. It's right there for you. It's the y-intercept, so I know it's at 7. So now I have y equals mx plus 7. Now I just need to calculate the slope. Well, I can calculate the slope by just drawing the slope line right here. So my slope will be negative because I'm going down from left to right. So this is down 1, 2, 3. So this is negative 3. And this is over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So therefore, the slope of this line would have to be negative 3/5. So plugging that into my slope-intercept form, I would get negative 3/5 x plus 7, and that would be the correct answer.